If you're thinking about getting your first Apple TV or upgrading, this video is for you. I'm going to share with you 3 reasons why I think the new Apple TV continues to be the best streaming device out there. We'll also cover what's new this year. Now, this is not one of the reasons, but one of the biggest benefits of the Apple TV is that Apple ecosystem. It's nice to be able to use your iCloud account and have your services sync across your accounts and go beyond just syncing content. It's also nice to have family members be able to use their iCloud account so everybody's content doesn't get all jammed up together. The Apple TV feels familiar if you own an iPhone or an iPad. The integration with those iOS devices is great. I can access the remote on my iPad, my iPhone, or even my Apple Watch to control my TV. I love that I can connect my AirPods and enjoy spatial audio, which we'll talk about that in a minute. But you do not need to be an Apple user to take advantage of the Apple TV for content or some of the Apple services. So don't let that discourage you if you don't own an iPhone. A little bit about this year's Apple TV. It did see a big price drop from the base model starting at $179 down to $129. The storage doubled from 32 gigabytes to 64 gigabytes. You also can get 128 gigabytes for $149. That's the model I recommend, and I'll explain why. Now, it's important this year to not pick wrong. Usually the Apple TVs are the same no matter which storage you go with. This is the first year we've seen a change in that. And what has happened is the base model does not have an Ethernet port on it. And I really recommend going for Ethernet when you can. That way you can hardwire it and get the maximum speed. I tested mine and I was getting 200 megabits on my 200 megabit connection. That's going to give me the best video quality I can get out of it. Second thing you lose is the Thread router in this for your smart home. If you don't know what Thread is, that's a big reason why Apple cut it. A lot of people aren't taking advantage of Thread for their smart home or using that Ethernet port, so they saved a little money there. If you want all the features of previous models, you do need to go for that 128 gigabyte version. For $20 more, I think it's worth it. Now, this still can serve as a HomeKit hub, so if you want to start an Apple smart home or expand on it, this will do it. If you'd like to check out the new Apple TV, I'll put links down in the description. This is not a big update this year, so if you have the 2021 model, you may not want to upgrade. This just builds on some of those great features that were introduced last year. So if you'd like to learn about some of the new stuff that came out in the 2021 model, I'll put a link to that video in the description, along with some Apple tip videos. Make sure to check those out. There's 20 plus tips across them. Both models saw a processor upgrade to the A15 Bionic chip. This is coming from last year's A12 Bionic chip, which was a nice upgrade. It isn't that old, so that thing still performs great. As for using it, I haven't really noticed much of a difference from the previous model because it just is snappy and quick as is. This model is smaller than previous years, and that's because it doesn't have a fan in it. Apparently the A15 doesn't need it for cooling. Now, the remote has stayed the same except USB-C on the bottom, which might be a problem. If you're somebody that's coming from an iPhone or an iPad that's still using Lightning, you may not have any USB-Cs around the house, and there's not one included in the box. Other than that, everything else about the remote's the same as the 2021 model. Number one reason the Apple TV is the best is the interface and performance. I haven't used Roku or NVIDIA Shield, but compared to Fire TV or Chromecast, this hands down is the winner. A big part of that is that the interface is very familiar for iPad or iPhone users. You basically have 2 screens. You have one screen that is going to be all of your apps that you can organize into folders, and then you have another screen that is just your content. I love this up next section because it keeps track of the shows I watch across all different services. Now, not all shows from all services will show up down there. For example, in the up next, I won't see anything from YouTube TV or Netflix, along with some others. But for Peacock, Discovery Plus, Hulu, Disney Plus, and so many of the other services I use, it keeps my shows organized. So when something new comes out, it goes right to the front of the list. Whatever I watched recently is at the front of the list. This is so helpful with all the different shows spread across services, and you never know when one's starting or ending. This just pops up. You're like, oh, new season of Walking Dead started back up. Great. When it comes to Chromecast or Fire TV, I just feel like I don't get that experience out of it. Now, I haven't upgraded the software on this Apple TV yet, but others are reporting that there is a new featured row that goes above the up next. I don't like the idea of that, but the up next section's key. It is nice each family member can have their account set up, so the up next section just shows the shows they watch. I do like that the TV app looks the same on my iPad, iPhone, or computer, and that it's all synced up. Now, if you haven't, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you're notified of the next video. We are going to be taking a look at the Fire TV Cube versus the Apple TV. Now, number 2 reason the Apple TV is the best device out there is for content. And that goes beyond just movies and music. You have the gaming side and the fitness. Now, when it comes to picture quality, the new Apple TV has been updated to support HDR10+. I can't check that because LG TVs don't support HDR10 or 10+. Instead, I'm going to be looking and showing you some examples in Dolby Vision. The Apple TV, though, supports 4K Ultra HD, Dolby Vision, HDR10, and HDR10+. Now, with the 2021 model, Apple did add the ability to play high frame rate content. We don't know how many frames that is from Apple, but more frames just equals more clarity. It's great that most apps can take advantage of those higher quality formats. Here are some examples looking at my LG C2 OLED TV. It really looks great. If you'd like to check out this TV, I'll put links in the description to it. Now, for content, I do like that under the settings, you do have a lot of different options that you can go through. One of the features that I think is great for a lot of people is color balance. And what that does is it will use your iPhone put up next to the screen to see what colors are coming out, and then within the Apple TV it'll color correct it. That way you don't have to change any settings in your TV. You can take it right out of the box, run color calibration, and know your colors are dialed in. Another great feature that was added last fall is spatial audio. And if you're not familiar with that, it is a virtual surround sound. You can listen to spatial audio music where they can play sounds in 3 dimensions. When you're watching a TV show, the sound is coming from the TV when people are speaking, but then you can hear sound moving around you. It is a great feature. If you haven't tried it, check it out. It's available on a lot of Apple devices. You just need to use supported AirPods. Along those lines, I do love that with the Apple TV, if I put my AirPods in, I'll get a little pop-up on the screen where I can just select them and the sound will transfer right to them. I put them back in the case, goes right back to the TV. Now, for other content, you can pair a controller to the Apple TV and play supported iOS games, such as my racing game that I've had for 6 years. Or you could subscribe to Apple Arcade and play games on there. You could use Apple Fitness and sync it with your Apple Watch for workouts. There's a lot of different stuff you could take advantage of. Number 3 is the smart home benefits. Out of Fire TV and the Chromecast, Apple TV just has the best smart home interface and integration. If you didn't know, if you have a HomePod Mini or an Apple TV, that serves as your hub for your HomeKit smart home. Then you get compatible devices and you're able to control. So if you do buy one of these, you could just start building your Apple smart home. What's cool though is now there's a new Matter standard that is going to allow devices to work across Apple, Google, and Amazon. So there's going to be a lot more stuff available in the upcoming year that is going to make it easy to start a smart home for people who never have. What's cool is you can access your cameras, your favorite scenes, and some of your devices right from the Apple TV's home screen. You just hold down on this little TV looking button, brings up the control panel. You select the little home app, and that's going to show you your cameras on the top. And then if you select a camera, what's cool is if you select it and you click that little icon, you could see all the devices that are in the room. And you can actually control those devices right from here and turn them on and off. So super convenient to do. Those scenes can come in handy for just turning on some lights or setting movie mode. I do like with doorbells and cameras, you can have those pop up on the screen if motion's detected or the doorbell rings. And you could set those up individually across different Apple TVs. In here, I have it set up so only certain certain cameras will actually pop up on the TV and will give me a little preview of motions detected. Then in the family room Apple TV, I have it set up so that only the front door, when it detects motion or rings, pops up on the TV. It is great. It'll pop up without interrupting what you're watching. You can also drop it down into a picture-in-picture. I use that during Halloween so I can watch my shows, and I can also see when other people are coming. And it wouldn't time out. It would stay connected. Also, I'm using Ring devices that don't work with Apple's HomeKit. So if you'd like to learn why I use Ring devices with my Apple HomeKit Home, I'll put links down in the description to that video. Lots of videos to check out down in the description. And again, something to think about if you go with the larger storage model, you do have that Thread router built in. I do like Thread devices a lot. They help expand your network because devices can talk to each other to expand the signal further. And devices have been super quick. Now there's some out there that think the Apple TV is overpriced compared to the Fire TV or Chromecast. But if you want some of the best looking content you're going to get out of a streaming device, if you want a clean, easy, simple to use interface, or want to expand your smart home, the Apple TV is the way to go. Now, what is your favorite streaming device? Let us know in the comments section. Next, make sure to check out this video over here for some Apple TV tips. There's a lot of great stuff. I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching. Bye.